Alrighty, we're kind of, well, I'm trying to organize a little bit here. We got some parts for the Buick, but not all. Like I'm still missing the fuel pump.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do the exhaust. I'm thinking I'm just going to re-go into the original exhaust, but I don't know how that, it's basically going to be gross. So I'm trying to figure this out. It's not, I don't like the way it hangs, and it's just a terrible exhaust. It's like these X-frame cars, I don't really know how you do the exhaust nicely. So anyways, we got our remote filter, which is posing a problem. I got to figure this out. So you can see this goes here, and now this is supposed to be where my hoses go, which is now, the way that works is going to make our hoses the lowest point of the car.
Well, that's not good. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about that.
So I have to look at this and figure this out. Like, for one, when these are screwed in, now when the steering does a full...
Oh yeah, we were looking at that already.
A full walk.
It gets super.
It actually touches these oil filler things. So
that is
I was gonna
not
try
optimal.
I'm gonna try some 45s, but I might have to get creative with how we do this. Like if they do 45s out, that would be fine.
Yeah.
Now I just don't know because this stuff is so thick, so I don't know if I have to, even when this is bottomed out. Mm-hmm. If I have to, I could machine this down. So I'm not sure. I don't know if I got a little metal shaving in there or what happened, but so yeah, there's just the saga continues. So
Yeah.
I sure hope you enjoy this motor.
Well, I do too, actually, because that last one, we didn't like each other. It just didn't like me
right
at
now
all.
I don't like this one in here either. But...
I know. Oh, I know.
Anyways,
I just want to get in and drive.
We're getting there. I look at the fuel system and it came out on this side. And I'm like, I don't know how it's all going to go. But then I realized this thing's got a rubber hose, goes into here through the cross member. So it came out on the fuel pump side, but it actually comes here and runs along the frame rail. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. There's quite a bit. Pretty nice. Like the undercoating held pretty good, but we won't get too far into the car because the undercoating didn't help it everywhere.
No.
But anyways, I got this sorted, but I don't know about the return yet. The option I might do is just go into the filler neck. I've done that in the past because it's the easiest, but I don't have to really drop the tank. Like there's an access panel, so I might be able to like just kind of stick a line in close near the top, so I can still fill it, but I can do the return just into the tank without having to weld or do anything on the tank.
Yeah.
I really don't like welding on fuel tanks once they've had fuel in them.
Yeah,
so,
a little sketchy.
Yeah. Anyways, I think what we're going to try to do... well, I think I showed it last time. Watch out, pup. Or just wait till it gets closer, then you'll move. I have to still bolt the intake on. And whatever for that evap stuff. And do a pulley. There's still things to do. I got one bolt, but I got two, but one's too long. For the, well, I'll show it. I got the one for the pulley. I did that bolt. But the other one I have is not long enough for the bracket, which I haven't made yet, but I'll just cut. Because I kind of moved your alternator over.
For future unmade bracket?
Yeah, over and down. I think I could have got away with it actually in the stock place. It's so close. Like I can just get my hand around here. We did shave a couple things off, but it doesn't seem to touch anything under the hood, so kind of a win.
That is a huge win.
Kind of a win. So, but we just need to make this bracket. So the bolt I got, where we picked up the other day, is she's a little on the long side.
Shoot.
It's got to it's not going to thread in that much.
Nope.
So, and then I got this one I was missing, but I got, so now I can put for this, they call it I don't even know, steam port. I got to get that on, then the intake. But I think for now what I want to do is just weed through. Well, I do have to bolt that on, but got to clean up the gaskets and stuff. I think the first thing to do though is actually string out this harness and see what we're working with. And that's what I've been trying to clean up my workbench a bit.
Clean up your workbench so you have some room.
Whatever we do for the exhaust, we're going to need these O2s. Oh, I wonder. Maybe we need different O2s now that I think about it. I'm not running the stock computer, so I don't know what O2s come in here. Whenever I blow the workbench up, I have to blow Pablo off because he thinks that's his cue that he's going to come in. He used to get really, really dirty, and then I would sit and blow him off. So he's cool with that.
He actually really likes it.
He used to like it more. Like he used to like to chew at it and stuff.
Yeah.
His give-a-cares have gone down less and less as he's gotten older. Okay. Yeah.
Painless wiring harness.
Yeah. And this is going to look very... Oh, so this one even came with a tranny plug, but we're not doing that. Okay. I think the hardest part is this is probably going to be there, but unlike the stock computer... Actually, this one's not bad because everything's labeled, so... The aftermarket Amazon one, they don't actually
They're not
label
labeled
the
as
plugs.
nicely. Yeah.
This one has like TPS, that's throttle position,
Wow.
intake, air, C, I don't know, IAC, whatever that is. I know where it goes, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But let me see. See, I can tell right now. These are like O2s. And I'm going to have to get some O2s because these don't, they don't plug in together. That's okay.
They don't fit.
It's okay. But I think this thing's probably strung out. I think we just got to loom the thing up. I almost think we got to dry fit it on there and then do it though. Whoosh. Okay, let me get stuff away. Speed. It's for a 60 or an 80. What is this? I don't know. Transmission. These are clearly battery. Yep. Oh, they go to starter. Interesting. Starter. Well, if they're black wires, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a ground. Yep. This is probably down by the thing I keep. That's why I haven't put the starter on, because of this. CMP, I don't know what that is, but that should be the crank sensor. This one's going to go to our fuel pumps. That's cool. Even give us wire to run down there.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm pretty sure that's all going to have relays and stuff for everything. So there's going to be our fuse box.
Yep.
There's no relays, but I'm imagining there's going to be some. There's 2 relays in there. So
Okay.
fuse block. They don't say what they are, but I imagine air pump, purge can. I feel like I have to start reading some stuff because I don't know what these are. Air pump, air solenoid. But they had air ride? I know they don't. I just... Well, that's interesting. Look at that. Comes with your plug OBD port, and it'll have a check engine light.
That's cool.
That is kind of neat.
Yeah.
I usually don't hook them up because then I drive an old car and I get a check engine light and I kind of have a little semi-panic. I'm like, oh, there's something wrong. It's going to be like, oh, got a bad O2 or
Something like that.
Nothing major. Like when the check engine light comes on, you kind of panic. Mm-hmm. I wonder if this is set up to actually put everything in the car the way they have a grommet on there. Oh, there's still more relays. What the heck? Must be a lot of them. So this is fuel pump. Yeah, I definitely feel a lot of this is meant to go in the car. I'm trying to figure out how they want this to run. I guess it doesn't really matter, but if this is going to go to the starter, I'm just trying to map this out. So we got these. We'll take all of these, basing this on the starter, which is here.
I feel like I should be on the other side.
I think it's just kind of playing it by ear here, see where things are going to go. So I don't really know. I think this is going to be, well, the grounds usually go on the back of the motor, which is fine. That's fine. What's this thing? This is the knock sensors, so those are behind the motor. I wonder if this is almost made to go like under the intake, so you don't even see it. Man, makes you want to really put a nice intake on here. Right? I don't want to spend
Don't
that.
let me stop you.
I don't want to spend that on there. I don't even buy nice intakes for my own car. All right, so this is like transmission. So I'm kind of, I don't know if it matters what side that computer goes to. I think this is computer, transmission. So that's kind of just me back here.
Tuck it back there.
This is here because it's got a float. That's your wheel sending unit that we're not using. We're putting a different one in, but I'm kind of just, like I said before, testing things. Like I'm making sure everything just plugs in, and then we'll clean the wiring up. So that one is there. This one's going to go down to the bottom. This is your cam something. So that's that sensor. This one is the mass airflow. So that one goes up here. Is it making sense? Are you taking notes?
I'm remembering everything you're saying right now.
This one's going to go like to like your air cleaner thing. So that's where this one's like going to go technically.
Yep.
Then these are like your O2s. I don't know what this one is. It's got to be labeled, but oh, this is the crank. So this one goes with this other wire. So, okay, things are making sense here. This goes down, that funnels with those. This one's going to go to this side because of your exhaust, so it's got to follow that in such a way, some way.
Mm-hmm.
My big thing is we got to run fuel, and I want to try to adapt your original gas pedal, so that's going to make something rather interesting. So we got two bundles here, and I'm just wondering if this is where the motor breaks off, if this thing kind of goes. I'm imagining the injectors are done like, yeah, because these are going to go up here to this throttle position, which is that one. This one's going to go right there. I mean, for the most part, you know, you can't plug anything in the wrong place.
That's good to know.
Alternator. See, like everything just can't go anywhere
Plugs
wrong.
and fits.
Yeah. ECT. Oh, engine coolant temperature. So that's like here, which is broken. Dang thing. These always break. That one plugs there. So you have to do a little bit of finagle in here. You're gonna have to change a few things. I'm gonna have to put the coils on. Well, the injectors are all here, so these are gonna go to your injectors, right? I'm glad he got me these. I'm pretty sure you asked me if I had a car or truck. We got our injectors, that's gonna go to our coils. So this is all good. Like, makes sense. Does what it's supposed to do. Have to break a couple things here and clean up a couple things there. Like I said before, this is gonna go to, like, I don't know what we call it, this thing. It's called a mass airflow. This is just how it, when you open your throttle, this sensor sits here. So when you go, it sucks air in, and this is calculating how much air is going through.
Oh, okay.
And then that's how it knows how much fuel to give. In a carburetor, it just violently ramps down, and you just have to know it's smoking black. I got too much fuel.
Yep.
This just says I have this much air, so based on this much air, I need to give you this much fuel. So
Got it.
I think that's what this one does. Kind of works that way. Then this thing just tells how far my throttle's open. So you're at half throttle, taking this much air. I'm anticipating this is going to happen.
Okay.
This is a mass air. Yeah, I think that's explained right.
Makes sense to me.
I mean, overall, that's how she goes.
Oh,
Who's here, Red?
guard dog.
Oh, this is a fuel pump. So, anyways, we're back. So, fuel pump, and we got two electric fans. Okay, so I don't have relays for that. So I'm going to imagine, I didn't read the manual, so.
I saw you flipping pages though.
Yeah, I was pretty quick at it. See, an air relay, that's like pollution. Fuel pump relay. Fuse block. And there's two relays in there, but I think that's just going to be that. I'm imagining these are going to be, I'm going to confirm. I'm pretty sure those are literally gonna be for powering a relay. Yeah, so kind of rubbing through here. I haven't really gone through anything. This is the most reading I've done in the manual so far, but I just see fan 1, fan 2, and it just says you must connect these to the ground wire of the relays. So if we have to put that, yeah, I think we're going to have to. I don't think I can run. If I can run a mechanical fan, awesome. Don't know if I can yet. If we do, I'll get into that, but it's essentially we're just going to wire up a relay, and then that thing's going to be the black trigger, and then somehow we'll just run a key power just to tell it to, like, you know, it'll be hot when the key's on. That way when I turn the key off, fans turn off. They don't stay running till it needs to turn off or whatever it is. So cool. I think this makes sense. And then there's enough wires I can put this anywhere I want. Like, see this long lump?
Yep.
Like
Don't
right
need
now,
any of that.
right now, the way it's hanging on here, well, you need this. This is the important stuff.
Okay.
But I guess it's long enough you could hide this in the car if you wanted.
Oh, I see.
I don't care. Like, this car's not, nothing show. There's actually plenty of room. I could honestly mount the computer behind the motor. Like, look how silly how much room I have.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway,
Excessive.
I'm probably going to go over on this side, and then we're going to, I don't even know, like half the wiring, half of the stuff we need are probably just out here. Because the fuse box can mount. Well, I'll kind of come out. We're going to mount this. I'm going to mount it, and then I'll show you. I think that's the easiest way. I can say I'm going to do, but it doesn't.
Let's just do it.
Yeah. I'm going to mount the computer there. I'm going to mount the fuse box somewhere that makes sense. I know a lot of this is just all labeled. Okay, this is all that, I'll call it pollution pump stuff, for lack of a better term. Garbage things we don't need. This is everything that goes into the car, though, so. Yeah, should be pretty straightforward.
Cool.
I will run through it. I'm going to hook it all up, and I'm going to tell you folks how it works.
Yay.
And then we'll still be a little off from being able to fire it because I don't have all the bits.
That's right.
Yeah.
Need a couple things, but we're getting closer.
Yeah. Longest LS swap ever.
Yeah, sorry about that.
At least in this shop, that's kind of how
I feel bad.
Man, I've stuck motors in weird stuff, and this is the most normal thing I've ever done one in, and it's like the hardest one I've done.
I know. It's been a struggle. The struggle is real.
Bugger. Okie doke. Anyways, let's loom some of this stuff up. All right, been a while. My fingers are a little sore. These things work on some stuff, but because there's so many zip ties and some of the stuff is thicker than what these can do, this stuff's easy to do by hand. This stuff's not bad. This stuff can be a little tedious. And then when you get down to these single strand ones, these suck. I think you can fit about 2 small wires in here, but it's like you have to inch by inch. It's not a fun time. Anyways, I kind of have this set up. It actually looks, in my eyes, really nice. I had to do a little more taping around this area. These little loom kits do come with like zip ties and, I don't know, like some tape and some, it's kind of like a hockey tape. And the heat shrink. In hindsight, I think some of the heat shrink I should be putting on the ends to close these, but I'm just using their whatever tape they got on there. So anyways, I kind of got this where I want, at least zoned. This is like all the transmission stuff, which we're not using right now, so I just have that flopped over. And we have our motor side, like the stuff that we had tested it. That's all there. O2s. I plucked out, it came off of here, was for the fuel pump. I plucked it off and I'm running it separate because I'm going to kind of dangle it. Oh, see? yeah. I'm gonna like dangle along the frame rail going along. The other thing is my electric fans were like way out over here. I'm bringing them back over to this thing because, well, some of this is gonna, I think I'm gonna put it like behind the motor, honestly, like on the firewall. So I don't think there's anything there. So I think I can just slap it on there. I can mount it. We'll make a little plate there or closer to the booster. And then we'll make some kind of a plate to hold the relays and the fuses here and the fuel pump. I took out the pollution pump stuff for the evap and that because I don't use any of that. So that'll bring just, I believe this stuff I got to wire into the car. And some of it doesn't even matter because I think this is like the brake switch because we're not using the transmission. None of that stuff matters. Fuse block. What is this stuff? I don't know. I gotta read up what some of this stuff is. Tack wire we don't need. So really I think all I'm gonna have to do in here is hook up a keyed source. I don't even know if I have to go in the car. I can almost like hook it to the coil wire. It's kind of what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. And then that should power on the whole system. Because 2 of these wires, these here, are gonna go straight to the starter where the battery's gonna be hooking up to. So simple. Anyways, I'm trying not to make this too boring with wiring, other than this looks like it just straight up should just work. So we'll know better once we get a fuel pump and a few things. I gotta steal my headers back off of there so we can put them on there. And then, I don't know. I gotta figure out an exhaust. I don't know. Duals would be nice, but it's a pain under that X-frame. I think no matter what you do, you have to run the muffler, like the exhaust pipe under the frame that's just exposed to get bashed on everything. I don't know. I don't really want to saw holes through the frame because they're not a very strong frame. They kind of flex as it is, and the body's what kind of holds it together, but yeah. Anyways, that's a whole other problem. Anyways, that's as much as I want to get done tonight. So tomorrow, we'll kind of quickly sling that in there, get the computer mount. I have still a bunch of computer mounts, so I'm going to use one of those. I think I got some. I think some folks actually sent me a bunch. I have a bunch up there. I have to keep plucking more when I go to my little pick and pull. Keep checking out the S10s and keep grabbing them out of there just so at least I have a surplus of them for down the road. All right. Till tomorrow. Well, got our wires all run, so they're kind of going everywhere they got to go. I've ordered like kind of a fresh air thing for this. We're going to kind of do this semi-nice. I know Matt has a Cadillac out there, so I might try to see if I can get the lid to fit, even though I did have to trim some of this, but it might hide all the ugly that is this motor. I ended up, well, I ordered some headers for my T or my A, but the other ones came, well, I ordered some for there, but the new ones came in and I'm just going to use them on here. So we'll get that set up. I got to find a hose so I can get this power steering hooked up. The way I'm going to do this, the wiring is pretty long. Kind of wish I had funneled this a little better, but I'm going to put it behind the injector rail and I'm actually going to go mount the computer, everything like way up in the front here like this. Kind of like the stock truck. Some of this wiring I'm going to want to No, I think it can all stay here. For some reason, the coil wire was running through the car out to there. So I imagine there should be something ignition coming here that we can use to turn the fuse box on. Some of this has got straight battery. Everything's like fused with this kit, or it goes to a relay. So it needs just the basic small low current power to actually just turn it on, which will feed the main power to everything. And the main power for this, actually it all comes off the battery, so yeah, should be pretty straightforward. There's a lot of stuff here. Some of this I got to funnel back with the original wiring and get this in the car. It's kind of my plan. Here's my original stuff. So this had like the main battery power, like this is going to go to my alternator, stuff like that. Then I have to pull apart the starter wires actually in here, so I want to run, well, I got to peel it back and I got to get the start wire back into this loom so I can bring it down to the starter, just basically trying to clean everything up. And then also in here we have our water temp and our oil pressure, so those needed to be weeded out, and I'm going to run it through this loom again and get to the oil. And somehow, depending, I don't know what it was, I don't know how big the sender was. I did buy one of those little adapter things to so I can run like a regular oil gauge or water gauge on an LS, but I think this one was just a big dummy light, so it probably won't matter. But I'm pretty sure I have an adapter to go into the head that I can screw that into, and then again, they're just dummy lights, but it's what it is. I don't want to put a triple in here or do nothing. It's pretty simple. I'm not saying Esther's not going to look at those, but I think if I just leave the dummy lights, it's totally fine. Okay, so I got to go weed through the wiring. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to get the headers on. I did get my fuel pump, but I don't know how far we're going to get here. I'm going to keep plugging away here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Ooh, I forgot to mention, I picked up some adapters. This one's actually for the oil filter, but that's not a problem. But I needed to do some 90s below, so my goal is to get a couple underneath, pretty tight like that, and then I can hook the hoses up. So this would sit hanging down, so I'm hoping that at least if this goes, this is still covered by the control arm, cross member and stuff like that. That's my hope. If I have to, I think I can machine that block down a little bit just to get me a little bit of height distance up. But I think these fittings are actually going to be enough away. Well, I hope they don't touch into the steering. We'll see. I'm kind of, it is what it is, and I just got to make it work. Hi folks, It has been a while. Doesn't look like it from this video because this thing has been scattered. So I have finally started whittling through this wiring, trying to just get rid of everything I don't need, and then we can kind of patch into what is here. I still got to do my, I got the hoses up here. I got to figure out where I am going to put my filter yet. A few things like that. There's so much room behind the motor, I might just stick my oil filter like on the firewall, like right there. Like, why not? We got a radiator in, so this sucker's big, fits in the whole space. That part's awesome. I got a cold air intake. I did it for a Silverado. It's like whatever. It's just, I don't know. It was just cheaper. Well, it was a little more than just getting a filter, but it had some nice elbows and things like that. I don't know where it's gonna go yet, but at least I have it. It was more than buying just a filter, but I think it's gonna look cleaner when it's all said and done. What do we gotta do? Oh, I was gonna get something to delete this evap, so we might have to get this, weld that. So I got the, like I said, I got this pulled apart. I'm just weeding through what I need and don't need. So we have the main power, which is going to go back to the starter or alternator here, which then is going to like piggyback somehow over to the battery. Or no, this has to piggyback around, and we're going to put it on the lug of the starter because that just seems to work with everything here. So yes, I'm still playing with wiring, but yes, I'm going to try to make some progress here. It's been a long while for me anyways, not for you folks, because I just popped right back in. I think it's been a month. We've been on holidays. I've been just jamming on the Model A over there. You can see we're working on cleaning up the shop here. So yeah, there's a lot happening. I'm outside. We're doing some yard cleanup. Anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbering and I'm gonna get the wiring. I might skip this. I don't know that you need to see the time lapse of me fumbling around with this. I know wiring doesn't interest people, and it's not really that much fun. But like I say, I'm just dumbing it down. I took the voltage regulator off. I was gonna figure a way to make this so the light turns off. I don't know if I'm gonna patch it in to the alternator, if it works that way or not. We'll see. I might try it. It'd be nice if the light went on and off in the dash. I gotta still pull all the sensors out of there because this car doesn't have anything that is mechanical. They're all just dummy lights, so I might have to get an adapter yet for the water, because it takes this kind of a sender, and then the oil is just some mechanical, like a little doodad like that. But I'm just putting all the stock stuff in so the lights to go on and off like they did. Yeah. Anyways, keep plugging away here. So, what have I done? Nothing to really show. Did a lot of things, but it's not that great to show you. I basically drilled, tapped my steam port, put that in there. I'm gonna put on a light here. There you go. So yeah, I'm gonna trim my clamp. I've done this on my 56 and I haven't had a problem, so I'm sticking with that. We're gonna do that. Test fit the rad. It's looking good. We just had our swap meet, so I found a couple fans there, so I picked that up for the car, so we're good. I just got to wire in a relay. So these are the two different relay speeds in this part of the wiring, and then the pink is actually, it was for like EGR or was something else, like some pollution thing, or maybe an air pump. I'm going to use it to trigger the like this will be keyed power anyway, so I'll use it to trigger the relay to run the fans when they need to be. Well, it'll be the on. This is gonna, I can't remember what it is. I gotta read now whether this grounds the relay or not. Anyways, that is in. I mounted the computer over here. We have our fuses and our relays and everything are all over here. I did not want to punch a big hole in the firewall or nothing, so I'm going to leave the ODB port right here. That's good enough. I just got to figure a way to tidy up the extra wires here, so haven't got there yet. What else? I got the oil filter in and mounted. That is back here. I was trying to, and I was going to try to drill and tap this, but I can't get my drill straight. So I'm gonna have to Amazon and order and do like a series of adapters so I can actually do the water temp. Currently I've pulled out the oil gauge, so I want to drill and tap that so I can put in the factory oil gauge. That is what my plan is. This is the water temp, so that thing's just huge and it just doesn't go into the head, so I'm gonna just buy the adapters so I can screw this into it. This thing, you always see me do this. This is the stock one, which is broken. Whatever, doesn't matter. I just need the base because it's got a weird size down here, so I'm gonna drill and tap this. I think it's 1/8 inch NTP. That way I can thread this thing in, and then I can use the stock wiring from the car for the oil light. So we're gonna do that. I haven't shown down below yet, and I will later when I start figuring out the exhaust stuff. I grabbed some O2s, but I got the wrong O2s, so I think the boy was scrapping some trucks, so I'm gonna take, I think it had the right set of O2s. The only complicated thing I gotta figure out yet is, well, I gotta find the upper plate. I did change this bracket out. I'm pretty sure that this motor it's gonna work with this alternator up here because there is room. Like I can just get my hand around everything. Reason why I'm going with that one is because then I think I can get the Cadillac, you know, covers and cover all this motor up. It's pretty ugly. But if the alternator's over there, the covers don't work. So I had the two sides, but I got to find a top. I'm missing the top hat part of it. So whatever, gotta deal with that. I gotta hook up power steering hoses yet, figure that part out. Almost looks like that thing can almost thread into there, but we'll see how this goes. We might have to bake some kind of an adapter there yet. This one's just the return, so I can kind of just do that. That's fine. And then we gotta basically, once I get that sorted out, I gotta step down. We gotta get what is it? Fuel lines. We gotta do a return line. I gotta find a battery cable. I don't have that. Put some oil in it, and I think I gotta put oil in it. We gotta still do the computer, flash the computer, but we're getting close. The wiring, I've been just dogging it completely, so I'm kind of trying to power through and get that done, so we can get this thing one step closer to finished here, and I can free up my hoist, and then I can go work on my pickup truck, because I need to do a bunch of stuff on there, on my 49 there. Anyways, let's continue, carry on. Well, we're getting close to finishing everything up upstairs here. I'm really not going to worry about the kickdown cable because, whatever. It's Turbo 350. It's really not that big of a deal. We're for what we're doing with it here. Anyways, what have we done? What do we got left here? We made a throttle cable, but I gotta tweak this yet. It's the angle's not that great here. Anyways, that part we had to make a tab because I couldn't find the little hat that fit on there. So that's done. What else? We made a bracket on the other side so we can put that throttle cable, just kind of bolts onto the fuel rail, but ends up over here. And then I made a very simple bracket that goes on there, so now we can retain the stock gas pedal, stuff like that. My water sensor is actually broken, so I've ordered one. I'm waiting for one to come in. And what do we do? Did a little more tidying up here. Got our relay in, but I need a kit to put one of those electric fans on. The duals are cool, but I think I'm going to put the one big fan in there just because I can do it where you run it through the rad and just snug it in place. The other one, if I put it in there, I don't have a way to hold it well, and it doesn't sit tight against the rad. I'd like it to sit pretty tight on there. But that's just about getting everything done up here. I did find the exhaust from that car, from the other motor. It is hot garbage, and I'm going to just see how bad it is to adapt it to the LS headers, because I just want to scab the exhaust together for now until I fix my exhaust machine or get a kit. I'm starting to daddle with it, but I gotta source out and get all of my cylinders all redone, and then figure out how to do hydraulics. So that'll be the next thing. Well, that'll be down the road, but for now I want to just get it together and actually working with whatever garbage I got and the original exhaust in the car, and then later I'll make a nice dual exhaust. That'll be one of the first things whenever I finally finish that exhaust machine. So I think I'm just about done upstairs, other than that cold air intake thing I have does not work. So I kind of went with this, and I'm just going to get a cone filter that just sits on there. Not ideal, but it's what we're going to do. I had all this stuff that was for a Cadillac, but it doesn't work. The idea of it is it actually sits and covers up the ugliness that is this motor. And that was why I kind of moved that alternator bracket back, because you can see how this thing all does its stuff. But I can't get the hood down when it's on, so we're not going to be using it. But anyways, in the big picture, if it was all where it was supposed to be, you kind of see how it kind of hides the ugliness that is this motor. Doesn't make it any better, but it does hide it. Anyways, it'll be around, and we'll probably use it on something else because I got it now. So anyways, on to the next, which is going to be running the fuel system. So we're going to do very simple. I'm going to lift the car in the back. There's a rubber hose actually kicking over the frame rail, so I'm going to mount my pump way back there, which is pretty close to the tank, so it doesn't have to pull very far. And then I got to figure out how to do my return, but we'll get the car up and we'll kind of see how we're going to do this. I want to do everything with the push connect style. So we're going to go boop, fuel pump, fuel filter, or maybe fuel filter, pump, and then to the motor. All right, what is new here? Well, we got the fuel pump in. That has happened. It's not glorious or nothing. It'll work. I just have it hose clamped, but I want to get a couple P clamps to hold it in there so they're, like, I have rubber isolating it from the chassis, but I'd rather have it all the way around on the clamping surface. So I got that going on. Filter's over there. Our push connect is on there. We are clamped down along the chassis. We kind of run up. I got to do this vacuum line here because that's not going to be a good time shifting without that. We have scabbed together and we just have hot garbage for an exhaust, but at least it'll work for now. I'm kind of worried that's a little low because this thing's just bulldozed the road like crazy before. So there's a possibility. I should have tried to tuck that a little higher, and I think it would have been in its first form, but there's no way to really switch that now. So we'll leave it till I can redo this exhaust down the road. For now, I can kind of get her going. I got to get, like I say, the right O2s because when you stare at these, both ends have the same plug right now. So that's a no bueno. That doesn't work very good. So again, got to dig around for that. Now, the other thing I got to do is I don't have a return line done yet, and I don't know how I want to do this. I was going to pull this panel off and see if I can get into the filler neck, but I do notice there's a vent over there. So it looks like it goes in the trunk or something. So I'm going to see how that works because I don't know if that goes, the rubber hose goes in, it goes to some kind of a filter, and then it just pulls air from the world right there. But I don't know. We'll pull the trunk down and we'll kind of have a little peek-see inside. See if I can find a way to tap into there. Would be pretty nice, pretty awesome. Yeah, so we're gonna let it down, pop the trunk, have a quick snoop. All right, before I close this all up back here, I'll show you what I did. We kind of ran a hard line because that's all I have. We P-clamped it. It kind of zips up to the front. That'll be the return. It comes up into the filler back here. So we took the filler out. I drilled a hole. I drilled it in the wrong spot. It was too tight. So I brought it down. The hose actually runs all the way down the pipe. Should have done it longer so it would have been in the fuel, but whatever. So now my return basically just goes into the filler neck. I don't like trying to drill weld onto a tank that's had fuel in it. That's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just bad news about to happen. I have done it in the past, but it's just, I'd rather not if I don't have to. Anyways, I'm gonna go run around the yard, see if I can find where the kid put all of those O2s. So at least I can switch those out, and I think I can just drop the car and I don't have to lift it again. I do have to put new tires on yet. I did buy her a whole set of new tires. Nothing special, just kind of what she has. These are just getting all weather cracked and they're pretty old, so we'll just put some new ones on. Oh, we've got to do that vacuum hose on the transmission, and I guess a drop it, program that computer. Got to do that really quick, and then I think we're ready to try our first fire. All right, well, fuel system works. Well, pressurized, it's good. Did the computer. What did we do? What I usually do, if you're not familiar with HP, really all you have to do is go under here, turn off this thing called VATS, set it to none, and that's all you got to do to get your car to start, or truck, or whatever you're trying to do. Anyways, with that said, I usually do this. I go in here, I turn my fans on, because you can kind of set your pressures for two different fans. I just have them, I'm only using one. I just have a habit of always setting them anyways. I have them pretty close. Normally I set them maybe 10 degrees difference, just so if it actually starts to overheat, then a second fan can kick in. And then you go into diagnostics here, and essentially all you're doing is turning off your rear O2 sensors and your evap and all of that. So technically, this thing should start right now. So, what do we got? All we have is an oil light. I don't have a temp gauge. I don't have water. There's a lot of things I don't have. But this thing should, if we cycle it once, pump is good. And we're not good. Battery. Boo. Well, it's definitely not normal. That would just work. Make sure we got some fuel pressure. Golly. I think that starter needs to get shimmed. Definitely sounds like that. I don't think we have fuel pressure. Well, I guess I chalked it up to it's got to be a bad fuel pump. It doesn't get more than 50 psi. I kind of checked it, but I kind of forgot, and it's supposed to be over 60. I was pretty sure it had to be over 60, and yeah, I went and checked my Napco, and it's like 60, 65, somewhere there. So there's that. It's kind of weird having a weird grounding issue, like the coil. I don't know if that was anything, but I mean, I kept having my test light on here, and it kept showing me like 9 volts, and that was just wrong. But if I put it over here, I was getting a proper 12 or 12, 13 because the charger's on it. So I ended up having to ground these coil packs to the block. I don't know what that's about. This side's fine. So there's just a whole lot of hoopla. It's smoky because I did get it running, because all I did is I just bottle fed it, and it did fire up, like, you know. It starts up fine and stuff, but it's just, yeah, I don't think it's got the, I guess, bleh. I got a bunk fuel pump, so I guess I gotta get the fuel pump. I gotta get those P-clamps. I am waiting for that sending unit doodad to come in. My air filter. So there's a bunch of things I can't do, which really sucks. The exhaust is in. I don't know. It works. I'm sure it's a bottleneck thing, but it's whatever. It's fine. It ran the other motor okay. I guess I'm gonna do later tonight, once this clears up in here, is I'm gonna go grab tires off top, and I'll at least swap tires out, do something. And I guess I'll wait for, I don't know, I guess I gotta go to town, and I'll try another fuel pump. I don't know, kind of sucks. I've never had any real problems with these, but it is an Amazon unit, so you know where that comes from. So there's a good chance the success rate of those things are getting lower and lower. I have some big fuel pumps, but I don't even want to use that on here. A, they're loud, and I don't have the means of doing all the fittings and stuff to make it work in here, so yeah. Anyways, I guess that's all I can do for right now. So last night got tires on, so that's done. I put the fan in, so that thing's there, it's wired. There's not too much left under the hood, really. I'm just stuck waiting on that fuel pump, air filter, and a temperature doodad, so I can actually put coolant in it and stuff. Kind of like sitting in limbo, so that's about all I can do for now. Yeah. Other than, what did I do? Put the wheels on. Had these Buick Division hubcaps, but that's the problem. They all came apart like that. Well, these ones came apart. The other ones, the fingers are all broken. I only have one good one. I guess this one, if I clean it up, I can glue it. At least I can do one side of the car with this stuff on it, which looks better than the hole that's in there, that's for sure. I really don't think these are the original wheels for the car, but I don't know what this thing would have had on it. But anyways, I'm stuck waiting. I just ended up ordering another pump from Amazon because I called around locally, and they're like over $200 is our parts stores want for a fuel pump. So I opted for the $100 version on Amazon. So we'll see how that is. That'll be another day or two. So I guess we're stuck in limbo on this one. We're very close though, almost there. Well, we got parts. So we got a new fuel pump. So gonna lift the car up, do that. Did the water sender. We got the air filter the other day. So I think we are pretty much ready to rock here. That is the only thing we have the problem was just the fuel pump, I think. The sending thing is, I don't really want to show that. That's the most grossest thing I've had to build. So I have to come up with something or figure something out. We have had to do all kinds of goofy adapters just so I can get that dummy light to work. But anyways, I'm gonna lift the car up. We are gonna swap this pump out, and with any luck, that thing is gonna fire and we can get her out of the shop. Got a few parts for this thing, which I don't know if you've seen anything on it yet, so whatever. We got a few bits on for that thing. Anyways, let's get this going. Not quite. All right. It popped and it fired, but it wouldn't start. So I'm starting to question if it's actually the fuel pressure regulator. I only have this one rail, so I'm hoping it'll work. So anyways, I gotta pull these injectors out. We're gonna pop them into here and switch it out. Because I don't know, if it did that first start and then wouldn't go, check fuel pressure, back to 50 pounds again. So there's no way that the two pumps are like that. So I think it's relieving the pressure or something's wrong with the regulator. And I don't have the exact same one that I can just switch it out, so I have to actually change the rail. The guts are different, so they must be different years or something. So anyways, I'm gonna put these injectors in this one and we'll put it back together and we'll give it another try here. Well, the saga continues. So anyways, I had tried 3 different pumps, come to the conclusion it's gotta be the fuel rail, which I'm sure it is, I know it is. Because I had this one was in my 54 or my Buick or something. So I kind of jimmy rigged something together, put it in, it was doing exactly the same. That's the first pump. I put back in the second pump that I bought. So anyways, when I had the other pump, it was only doing same thing, 50 pounds. So I basically pinched the return line with a vice grip or like a clamp, and then boom, it would spike. So put the old pump back in, did the same thing, clamped it, spike. I know it's a fuel rail. Unfortunately, this one that I have is wrong. I think it's for a newer car. Like it doesn't fit. Nothing works. Nothing interchanges. So what I don't understand is I stole the regulator, like the little doodad on here. I took that from one of my running vehicles and I put it on, and no difference. And I took the one that wasn't working on here, put it on a driving truck, and it starts and runs. So I don't really know if there's something internally wrong with this rail or what. So I have a buddy coming by later. He's got just a complete fuel rail. So I'm just going to swap rails, injectors, just do the whole deal and be done, just for simplicity, so I'm not going nuts here. But it sounds much better when you crank it over now, because, well, now that I got a better starter. Okay, see, that sounds pretty normal. That's pretty good. Anyways, not much I can do other than I'm just going to take the fuel rails and stuff off. He's bringing another one, so I'm just going to completely just pop that whole unit off, and we'll just throw his unit on here. All right, here's the moment. It's been forever. I got fuel pump.
Yay!
She's the champ.
She's sort of alive.
Yeah, it's not without its problems yet, but it's working. We have to source a few things. But what the problem turned out being was injectors. The reason it would pop off, well, actually, I'll go back to the story here where we were, I think last I was waiting for my buddy to bring fuel rail, so we swapped the rail. Actually, we didn't even swap it. We did the pressure regulator again. That was not it. I feel the pressure's down, but I'm wondering if it's just my gauge. Anyways, long story short, it popped off. I was working on the bench, goofing around with it, and I have a little tester to test injectors, and while I was waiting for Buddy, I was just going to test the injectors that they click, and none of them were clicking. So giving them a tap, doing whatever, basically all the injectors except for 3 were hung up. So that's why every now and then it would actually pop off and fire, because only 3 out of the 8 injectors were working.
Good grief.
So we kind of tapped them loose, tapped them, because I guess old fuel gets in there, and man, I bet you if a motor sits for a month, you can have like no start problem, and it's probably going to be. I remember having that, and I bought an injector cleaner in the old shop because I was frustrated with.
I remember that.
I always end up struggling with a car that I can't get running, and then it always ends up being the injectors. So anyways, we got that going. And now it's like, I don't even know why. It seems like the power steering pump doesn't work. It's not even like doing anything. It's not pumping any fluid. So I don't know if I have a puller to take that off. I still have the one on the other one. So I got to swap that. Now I noticed the water pump has got a little drip happening. Well, that's not
that. But
that's not from it.
No.
That one I think was the coolant hoses were loose in the back, but
we have a little bit of a water pump.
Yeah, there's a water
drippage.
Pump drippage. It's just, yeah, this car just doesn't want to leave the shop here.
But here's our plan for today. I'm going to get in this car in a minute, and I'm going to take us out for breakfast. I'm driving this car today no matter what. She's going to live. Just get us to town and back. It's time.
So yeah, we're going to go take her for a little boot, even though she's got a few flaws right now.
It's not perfect yet.
No. But so we got to do still some tweaking, but whatever. We'll get it.
So a little weekend motor swap has turned into weeks.
Well, we were gone for a bunch of it.
We were. But
and I
still.
got a bunch of extra fuel pumps now. And
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Anyways, let that be known. Check your injectors.
Check
All you got to do is do 12 volt to them, and you'll hear them click. Then at least you'll know. Mine, you could see a little arc, but they weren't making a clicking noise. So you kind of give them a little tap on the bench, and that usually will kind of start them back up again. Anyways, yeah, it's been a while. For you, it's been what, like a year?
It's been a year and a half probably.
Yeah, since you've driven it, so.
Oh, I didn't drive it at all last summer, so like 2 years almost.
It's kind of weird. Just because you didn't like it breaking down on you.
I know. What's up with that? I'm stranded again. Oh no, it'll be fine. I drove it yesterday. It was great. And then I get behind the wheel and it just hates me. Anyway.
All right. Well, I'm going to clean this up and we'll go for a rip.
Go for breakfast.
Should just work. The door's not closed.
I have no words. It's cold.
All right. Well, if you can hear that, I don't know. I think the wheel weights are kind of tapping on the backing plates in the back. The car never did have any. We'll see if we'll see when we get back if they're still on there. But, anyways, Esther's got her car back.
I could cry right now. I'm so happy. This means so much to me. I just love my car so much.
So we got still a few things left to do. I got to do that water pump. It's either that or a seal. I don't know, so I got to check that later. I got to figure out the power steering thing. I've never seen one where it just doesn't even pump or do nothing. It's just the fluid is just dead in there. So, anyways, we'll have to do that. But I think we're gonna leave the video here. I was gonna do some drone stuff, but we got a whole lot of rain happening right now. So
and we need it because we got fires in the province. Yeah.
So that doesn't work. So, anyways, we're basically finally done.
Yay!
More or less. We'll get to it. We'll finish it up tomorrow, or you know, in a different video. Probably in the second channel. We'll kind of work on the last bit of stuff on here and call her there. So, anyways, as always, folks, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.
Bye. Driving my car. I'm so happy right now.